Most people believe that memory loss and dizziness after 60 are just a normal part of aging. That idea sounds harmless, but here's the shocking truth in many cases. Those problems are actually linked to poor circulation in the brain, and ignoring them can quietly raise the risk of a stroke. Think about how often this shows up. You forget what you were about to say in the middle of a sentence. You stand up too quickly and feel lightheaded, or you notice your focus slipping faster than it used to. These are not only frustrating, they are signals that your brain and blood vessels need better support. That is why in today's episode, we are talking about a simple apple-based drink mixed with fresh pomegranate and a touch of cinnamon. It is refreshing, it is seasonal, and most importantly, it brings together natural compounds that science has shown can boost brain health and lower stroke risk after 60. Before we dive deeper, let me invite you to be part of this conversation. If you find these tips helpful, hit the like button, share this video with a friend who cares about their health, and subscribe so you never miss the practical advice we share each week. And I want to hear from you. Have you ever noticed those dizzy spells or lapses in memory? Write in the comments, because your story could help someone else recognize the warning signs too. Let us begin with apples, a fruit so familiar that we sometimes overlook its hidden strength. Most of us think of apples as a good source of fiber or just a simple snack, but few realize how deeply they can support the brain. Inside every crisp bite are compounds called flavonoids, natural plant chemicals that do far more than add color and taste. They act as protectors for the brain's delicate network of blood vessels. Why does this matter so much after 60? Because the brain relies on a steady flow of oxygen and nutrients to keep memory sharp and thinking clear. As we age, those vessels can become stiff, less flexible, and more prone to blockage. When that happens, signals in the brain slow down, memory slips, and in some cases, the risk of stroke rises. Apples step in by providing flavonoids that relax the blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and improve blood flow right where it is needed most. Researchers have studied this connection closely. One large review published in 2022 found that diets high in flavonoid-rich fruits, including apples, were linked to lower rates of cognitive decline and better blood vessel function. In plain language, people who ate apples regularly showed stronger memory and a reduced risk of brain-related disease. Scientists believe this is because flavonoids neutralize oxidative stress, the tiny sparks of damage that accumulate in our cells and speed up aging. When you slice an apple and leave it on the counter, it turns brown because oxygen begins to damage the surface. Something similar happens in the body when we lack antioxidants. Over time, that stress can damage blood vessels and neurons, but the flavonoids in apples act like an internal shield, slowing down that process and keeping tissues healthier for longer. Let me paint you a picture from everyday life. Imagine going for your morning walk through the neighborhood. The air is cool, the trees are turning with autumn colors, and you feel clear-headed. Now compare that with the days when you wake up foggy, forget where you left your keys, or struggle to recall a name. The difference often lies in how well your brain is being nourished. An apple. A day is more than an old saying. It represents a simple way of giving your brain the compounds it needs to stay alert. There is also a connection between apples and heart health, which circles back to the brain. When the heart pumps blood more effectively, the brain benefits directly. Apples help lower LDL cholesterol and improve vessel elasticity, creating a smoother pathway for circulation. And since stroke risk often begins with blocked or hardened vessels, every step toward healthier circulation is a step away from that danger. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I already eat apples sometimes. Isn't that enough? Here's the key: consistency matters. Eating one apple once in a while will not provide the steady stream of flavonoids your brain needs, but making it a part of your weekly rhythm does. Slice an apple into your oatmeal. Pack one when you head out for errands. Or as we are doing today, blend it into a drink that combines even more protective ingredients. So let's wrap this part up with one clear message. Apples are not just snacks. They are brain-supporting allies that keep blood vessels healthy and memory sharper. If you enjoy apples already, keep it up. And if you don't, this is the perfect time to start. Try blending one into this drink and see how it fits into your day. Then let me know in the comments, do you usually eat apples raw, baked, or in juice? Sharing your routine could give someone else a new idea to try. Opening a pomegranate can feel like a small challenge, but once the shell cracks open and you see those bright ruby seeds, it is like looking at tiny drops of energy packed with power for your blood vessels. For seniors, pomegranate is more than just a pretty fruit. It is one of the richest natural sources of polyphenols, compounds that have been shown to improve circulation and protect the brain. Healthy circulation is the lifeline of the brain. Every thought, every memory, every step we take depends on oxygen and nutrients arriving through blood flow. When vessels become stiff or clogged, that flow slows down, and the effects can be seen in memory lapses, fatigue, or in the worst cases, stroke. Pomegranate seeds, with their high polyphenol content, act almost like natural cleaners for the vessels. They reduce oxidative stress, make the inner lining of arteries more flexible, and encourage smoother blood flow. One clinical trial published in 2021 found that older adults who drank pomegranate juice regularly improved their blood vessel function and lowered markers of inflammation in the bloodstream. The researchers concluded that pomegranate polyphenols could be a simple dietary tool to reduce risk factors for vascular disease. What this means for us is that eating pomegranate, or drinking it fresh in a juice like this, is not just about enjoying the flavor. It is about actively protecting the pathways that feed the brain. Imagine standing up after sitting for a while and feeling that wave of dizziness. That sensation often points to circulation not adjusting quickly enough. Regularly adding pomegranate to the diet can help blood vessels respond better, keeping circulation steady and reducing those dizzy spells. It is a small step that can make everyday movements more comfortable. There is also a connection between pomegranate and cholesterol. Studies suggest that the fruit can help reduce the oxidation of LDL cholesterol, the form that clogs arteries. By lowering that burden, blood vessels remain open and elastic, which directly lowers stroke risk. For seniors, who often face rising cholesterol levels, this makes pomegranate not just a fruit, but a protective ally. You can eat the seeds raw, sprinkle them on a salad, or, as in this recipe, blend them with apple and cinnamon for a drink that supports the brain and the heart at the same time. The tartness of the seeds balances the sweetness of the apple, creating a flavor that feels refreshing and satisfying. So here is the takeaway. Pomegranate is not just decoration on a holiday table. It is a daily tool for healthier circulation and a stronger brain. If you have not had it in a while, this is the season to try, and I would love to know. Do you usually eat pomegranate seeds fresh, or do you prefer them as juice? Share your answer in the comments, because your routine might inspire someone else to make this fruit part of their day. Cinnamon is often thought of as a spice for baking, a flavor we connect with apple pie or holiday drinks. But for seniors, cinnamon has another side that is far more important. It helps steady blood sugar and supports circulation in a way that can protect both the brain and the heart. Why does blood sugar matter so much when we are talking about stroke and brain health? Because frequent spikes and drops in glucose damage blood vessels over time. They make arteries less flexible, encourage inflammation, and create the conditions where clots can form. When vessels leading to the brain are affected, the risk of stroke rises. Cinnamon offers gentle support by slowing how quickly sugar enters the bloodstream after a meal, creating a smoother balance. This effect is not just an old kitchen belief. Researchers have looked at cinnamon closely, and several studies show that adding cinnamon to the diet can reduce fasting blood sugar and improve insulin sensitivity. One 2019 trial with older adults found that those who consumed cinnamon regularly had better post-meal glucose control compared to those who did not. That steadying effect reduces strain on blood vessels and lowers the kind of stress that contributes to long-term brain damage. Let's picture this in an everyday moment. You finish dinner, and not long after, you feel unusually tired, sometimes even a little foggy. That sluggishness often comes from a spike and then a dip in blood sugar. Over time, those swings wear down the system. Adding a small amount of cinnamon, whether sprinkled on oatmeal in the morning or gently infused in a drink like this, helps the body release sugar more gradually, keeping your energy and your focus more stable. Cinnamon also brings compounds with anti-inflammatory properties. This means it does not just help balance glucose, but also calms the irritation inside blood vessels that can lead to hardening of the arteries. For seniors already managing conditions like high blood pressure or type 2 diabetes, this calming effect is one more layer of support for healthy circulation. Now, it is important to use cinnamon wisely. A little goes a long way. In our recipe, we simmer the apple and pomegranate juice with a stick of cinnamon for just a few minutes. That gentle infusion releases the beneficial compounds without making the drink overpowering. For everyday meals, even half a teaspoon sprinkled on fruit or cereal can be enough. More is not always better, and moderation keeps it safe and effective. So cinnamon is not just a flavor, it is a quiet helper that smooths out blood sugar swings, protects circulation, and indirectly shields the brain from the damage those swings cause. If you already use cinnamon in your kitchen, keep it up. And if not, this is a wonderful way to begin. Add it to your next cup of tea, or try it in this apple pomegranate drink. I would love to hear how you use cinnamon in your meals. Do you enjoy baking, or would you try it as part of a daily drink? Share your answer in the comments, because your idea could give someone else a new and healthy habit to try. We looked at apples, pomegranates, and cinnamon one by one. Each of them has its own unique role in supporting the brain and circulation. But when we bring them together, the effect is much greater than the sum of the parts. That is the real strength of this drink. It creates balance and synergy that the body can use more effectively. Apples hydrate and provide flavonoids that relax blood vessels. Pomegranates deliver polyphenols that keep arteries flexible and flowing. Cinnamon calms blood sugar swings that would otherwise damage the same vessels. When all three are combined in one recipe, you cover hydration, vessel protection, and metabolic balance in a single glass. It is like giving your body a full team instead of one player working alone. Science has been pointing in this direction for years. Nutrition experts often emphasize that health comes not from one superfood on its own, but from the way foods interact. A review in 2021 on dietary patterns showed that combining antioxidant-rich fruits with blood sugar balancing spices created stronger protective effects against stroke and dementia than any of those foods consumed separately. That finding highlights what we see here. Apples, pomegranate, and cinnamon complement one another and make each other's benefits more powerful. Let's bring this into an everyday scene. Imagine drinking a glass of this blend in the morning. The apple gives you a gentle sweetness and flavonoids to start your circulation strong. The pomegranate adds a tart lift while protecting your vessels. The cinnamon rounds it out, smoothing blood sugar so you feel steady instead of sluggish. Each sip delivers a balance that carries through the day. It is not a jolt of energy like coffee, but a quiet steadiness that makes walking, thinking, and focusing feel easier. Another strength of combining these ingredients is taste. Many people want to eat healthier, but stop because the food feels bland or boring. This drink avoids that trap. The apple and pomegranate bring a fresh sweetness. The cinnamon adds warmth, and a squeeze of lemon makes it bright. When something tastes this good, it is easier to keep as a habit. And consistency is what really delivers results. I often tell patients that building health is like weaving a rope. One strand is not strong enough on its own. But when several are braided together, the rope can carry weight for years. This apple drink works the same way. Each ingredient plays its part, and together they create support for the brain, the vessels, and the heart. So the key message here is clear. The power comes from the combination. Apples, pomegranates, and cinnamon are good alone, but together they form a daily practice that protects circulation and gives the brain the steady supply of energy it needs. If you try this drink, you are not just enjoying a seasonal refreshment. You are building a shield for your health. And now I want to hear from you. Would you be willing to try combining these 3 ingredients this week? If you do, let us know how it tastes to you, and whether you notice any difference in how steady or energized you feel. Your feedback could be the encouragement someone else needs to take the first step. Knowing the ingredients is one thing, but the real benefit comes when we learn how to prepare and enjoy this drink in a way that fits daily life. That is what makes a healthy choice turn into a lasting habit. The process is simple, but a few small details can make it much better for seniors. Start with 1 large apple. Wash it well, remove the seeds, and cut it into small pieces. Take half a pomegranate and scoop out the fresh red seeds. Place both into a juicer or blender with about 200 milliliters of clean water. Blend until smooth and strain, if you prefer a lighter texture. For extra warmth and balance, add a stick of cinnamon and simmer the juice gently for 2 to 3 minutes. This short heating step releases the cinnamon's compounds without destroying the fruit's antioxidants. Let it cool, and if you enjoy a bit of brightness, squeeze in a slice of lemon before serving. Now, let's talk about how to use it. Drinking this in the morning can set the tone for your day, supplying your brain with hydration, flavonoids, and antioxidants before you head out for a walk or begin household tasks. Taken in the evening, about 2 hours after dinner, it can support overnight recovery. When the brain and blood vessels repair themselves during sleep, both times have their value, and the choice depends on your routine. As for frequency, 2 to 3 times a week is a healthy rhythm. You do not need it every day to see the benefits, and spacing it out allows the body to use the nutrients effectively. For people living with diabetes, the best time is after meals, when cinnamon helps balance post-meal blood sugar. Avoid adding sugar or sweeteners, because the natural sweetness of apple and pomegranate is already enough. Another practical tip is portion size. A single glass, around 200 to 250 milliliters, is ideal. More than that at once may overload your stomach or increase bathroom trips at night. Moderation ensures you get the protective benefits without side effects. You only need to remember a few simple points when using this drink. Keep the recipe natural, without added sugar. Drink it 2 or 3 times a week, not every day, so the body has time to process the nutrients. Choose the moment that fits your routine, best morning to prepare for the day, or evening to support recovery overnight. And keep the portion moderate, about 1 glass at a time, so it stays gentle on your system. This apple pomegranate cinnamon drink is not just about the ingredients. It is about how you prepare and use it consistently. Keep the recipe simple, drink it in moderation, and choose the timing that fits your lifestyle. That is how it becomes more than a one-time experiment. It becomes a regular ally for your health. And now I would love to know if you make this drink. Would you prefer it as part of your morning routine or as a soothing evening refreshment? Share your choice in the comments, because your answer might give someone else the push to try it for themselves. We've walked through each part of this simple recipe, and now it's time to bring everything back into one clear picture. Apples showed us how flavonoids keep blood vessels open and memory sharper. Pomegranates reminded us that those ruby seeds strengthen circulation and lower stroke risk. Cinnamon added its quiet power, calming blood sugar swings that wear down vessels over time. Together, the 3 create a drink that works as a team, hydrating, protecting, and balancing. And when we prepare and enjoy it the right way, 2 or 3 times a week, it becomes more than just a seasonal recipe. It turns into a habit that supports the brain and the heart for the long run. I do want to add one reminder. If you are living with diabetes or any medical condition, check with your doctor before making changes. This drink is here to support your health, not to replace your treatment. So here is my invitation to you. Try this apple pomegranate drink this week. Notice how you feel after adding it to your routine. Then come back and share your experience in the comments. Your story may be exactly what encourages someone else to begin. And while you're here, don't forget to like this video, share it with a friend who cares about their health, and subscribe so you never miss the practical tips we share each week. Together, we can stay sharper, stronger, and healthier well beyond 60.